Howdy, welcome back to Dion Talk. This is going to be a nice short live stream that I do on my phone where I won't have the ability to answer questions during the live stream. I will answer questions after the live in the comments below. If you want to get your questions answered live on Tuesday afternoons, 4 p.m. Pacific, I do my live streams and I usually go as long as the questions keep coming in. I want to make this video today because of a question I saw in the BiggerPockets official Facebook group this morning. And if you're new to my channel, the purpose of my content is to help people learn how to do what I did. What I did was reached financial freedom by buying buy and hold rental properties. It took me a little less than 10 years to reach financial freedom. I started from a really bad position. I wasn't making a lot of money. I was a single parent with 3 kids, had been laid off from a police department, started work at a truck driving school making $17 an hour. It took me about 8 years to reach financial freedom, starting from a position where I found out about $89,000 in bad debt in my name that I didn't know existed until the divorce. So my goal on this channel is to share with you the strategies and tactics that I use to reach financial freedom and make that possible, to where at the age of 52, I retired last week now. Yeah, it's been a week. But this question came up in the BiggerPockets official Facebook group this morning. And this is something that really matters to me because this was almost a mistake that I made that stopped me from investing for a decade. The question, and I'll probably butcher it because I don't have it in front of me, was something like, my real estate agent told me not to invest in single family or small multifamily houses because they're only cash flowing about $200 a month. And it takes me 8 to 10 years to get my down payment back. So for me, I almost didn't invest for a decade because of almost the exact same sentence. My brother, who retired at 50 with 10 paid off rentals, said this sentence over and over and over. And I heard this sentence from him so many times, like probably over a dozen, that I constantly thought, that's stupid. He would say, I invest in real estate because in 11 years, I get my money back. Here's why that seemed kind of stupid. Check for spiders before you go down the slide. He had his money. He purchased a rental property, and it took him 11 years to get his money back? That seems like a whole lot of extra steps to get the money that you had to begin with. And then the second thing that dawned on me with this question from the poster on BiggerPockets was, my real estate agent told me. That's how he started the question, or she, can't remember. But 9 times out of 10, your real estate agent, your realtor, is a bad source of advice. And they're definitely not your mentor. The statistic I hear often is over 90% of real estate agents never own one rental property. That's kind of like when it comes to finances. A lot of us get advice from the wrong people. Now, try to prove me wrong on this, because I'm going to actually use math. 99% of people aren't in the 1%. Like, that's a factual statement. They're not in the 1%, that makes them the 99%. But most of our financial advice comes from people in the 99%. So we're getting our advice from a bad place. And my actual proof of this is my personal experience where my first realtor, my first real estate agent, a friend of mine, like of decades, respect the guy, love the guy, he's great, would have bankrupted me if I listened to him. Now think about this. If 90% or more of real estate agents never own one rental, it seems like they might be a bad source of advice, especially when they say things like, don't buy single family or small multifamily because they only cash flow $200 a month and it's going to take you 8 to 10 years to get your money back. I'm going to show why that's a silly thing to say. But I was getting advice from an agent who has 30 rental properties, retired at the age of 50, is financially free and very smart, but his advice would have bankrupted me. Because when it comes to getting your advice, you want to make sure you're talking to somebody who has your resources, your timeline, your goals. And here's how my friend did it. He was an agent and he worked for over, 20 or 30 years, working in an office 50, 60 hours a week, super dedicated, but he would cherry pick the deals that walked in the door. I don't have that resource. He also used cap rates. Now for me, I've never been able to find a way to apply cap rates to single family or small multifamily because I use leverage. So it's basically a meaningless metric that I don't use. But since he was using cash, it made sense and he was able to figure out which deals would be best for him to pursue. But it didn't work for me because I use leverage. So the first couple of deals that he suggested I use literally would have made me lose money. Not only would I not have gotten financially free in less than 10 years, but I probably would have had to work until I was 75 instead of retiring at 52. So, even somebody who's successfully investing might be a bad source of information because they're not investing with your goal, your timeline, and your resources. Here's why what the real estate agent was saying was silly. They told this person, don't invest in single family or small multifamily because it's only going to cash flow $200 a month, which is not often the case. It's going to do more. And it takes you 8 to 10 years to get your money back. Now remember, I didn't invest for over a decade because my brother kept saying that he likes to invest in real estate because in 11 years it gets his money back. Here's the flaw in that logic. And the thing that dawned on me when I finally realized to reach financial freedom, I need to invest in real estate. I need to invest in small multifamily and single family because my brother didn't take 11 years to get his money back. The original poster of this question this morning didn't take 8 to 10 years to get his money back. They still had their money. It just wasn't sitting in the bank, getting them 0.02% interest. They moved it from the bank into a rental property. They can sell, they can cash out refinance, they can take out a HELOC, especially as appreciation and principal paydown happen. These people, the investor, me, that's still my money. It's just sitting in a property now instead of the bank. So now it's not getting me 0.02% interest. Now what I'm getting is cash flow. My units cash flow between $800 and $1,000 a unit because of time. First year, yeah, maybe $200 or $300 a unit, but that goes up over time because rents increase and mortgages almost stay the same. But I'm getting appreciation on multiples of what I invested, not just my down payment, because the bank doesn't take the appreciation. I'm getting the appreciation on the entire amount of the loan, of the property, not just the loan. I'm getting principal pay down where literally every month the tenants pay down the mortgage. And then with things like having money sitting in a bank, that 0.02% interest that you get, you have to pay taxes on that. I mean, it's not much because you're not making much. But in real estate, with things like depreciation and write-off, in over 10 years of investing, making 6 figures in profit, I have never paid a penny in rental income tax. Depreciation is awesome. My tenants pay a lot of property taxes, but as far as taxes on the money that I'm making, I'm not paying a penny. And if I ever do a cash out refinance or a home equity line of credit, that is an economic event that doesn't trigger taxes. If I ever sell, I can use a 1031 exchange to move the tax obligation into the future property, where if I buy and hold until I die, with the stepped up tax system, not only will I not pay taxes on this, but my kids who inherit this stuff may never pay taxes on this too. So if you've been waiting or thinking of a different asset class to invest in, thinking single family and small multifamily houses aren't the best way to invest because it doesn't cash flow millions to start and it takes you X number of years to get your money back. Remember, you're not getting your money back, you're doubling it because your money is sitting in the property the whole time. Hopefully everybody's having a great morning and all of these slides are wet, which is fun. At least they're not hot today. Remember, if you want your questions answered live, Tuesday afternoon, 4 p.m., I will be here until the questions stop coming in. Until my next video, thanks for coming to my Dion Talk.